Hello everybody, my name is Elenator and welcome back to Ultimate Minecraft Polyworld, episode 399. We are on day 5891. Wow, we're gonna probably be around 5900 by the time that, whatchamacallit, by tomorrow, by the end of tomorrow. I don't have any plans for the 400th episode other than we're gonna be in 1.14.3-pre-1. I think 14.3 only has maybe 2 pre-releases. I can't remember. It's not too much though. No, maybe it's more. Maybe it's like 5 or 6. Not important. I don't know how many pre-releases it has. Come on, boat. Here, boy. Am I gonna have to restart? Well, not restart, reload the world. Of course I am. So we're gonna go back to the furnaces that I did not load yesterday, because as y'all can see, still here in the end, right after we left off. In fact, let me also take note real fast. I'm gonna have more journal entries to do here in the book and quill. I'll take care of that later. So before all this happens, let's head on back home. And yeah, I'm gonna head over to the furnaces and see how much, I almost said cooked stone, smooth stone we have. Howdy, Paul. Welcome back. Why is my home bed missing or obstructed? Did I sleep in the sleeping bag? That very well could have happened. And why is it spawning me down here, not up there? Spawn is in a specifically safe location. I know it's also nighttime. Zelamoon right at midnight. I don't know what level that is. It looks to be maybe one larger than the standard size. But yeah, oops. Z all the way home. There we go. Alright, so speaking of those sheep, I am partially thinking about I need to have the areas over here loaded. But equally so, the sheep also need to be completed. And I have not yet figured out what we're gonna do for stone. What I'm probably gonna do, I was thinking a little bit about it. What I think I'll end up doing is heading off in this area. If I go... Nope, not down there. Howdy, howdy, welcome back. Maybe it is down there. Don't I have, like, a random hole somewhere in the floor? Hope I didn't cover it up. Man, I haven't been in this area in so long. Oh, maybe this is it. Ah, I still haven't put stairs in. This is, you can tell this is such an old hoe. Hello. Hello, Zomble. Yeah, I was kind of thinking about expanding this place. Man, this is so much smaller than I thought. But yeah, I'm kind of thinking of just whipping out my Silk Touch pickaxe and digging all this up. Okay, your problem. And in doing so, this will allow me to stockpile on stone again. Plus, if I were to have any sort of cavern, this would be the place I'd want it. Because this is a great area. Howdy, howdy. Back at you again. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, I'm thinking of going there, but before we take care of all that... Oh yeah, are all my wolves still here? 80, 79, 76... That point's left, right? Just making sure. Guess it points forward, not particularly left. I remember the journey to bring all these wolves back. They're all still here, so I believe... So, I should say if they're all still here, then I think we're fine. So, we are looking for... I walked right past it. We're looking for the blacksmith hut. Oh, if these are done, does that mean these are done as well? They're about to be. Cool, cool. I just don't know if I have the inventory space on me to carry all this right now. Let me stock up on all the smooth stone here. And then contemplate whether or not this was a good idea. Realizing that, well, this was all my stone gone in one sitting. But yeah, I think we'll just start working on the cavern. Oops. Okay, I needed 4 more slots. Oh wait, hold on. There we go. I no longer need 4 more slots. We're gonna come back here with some coal though. Start refilling the furnaces. There's a good idea to keep that ender chest in there. I'm thinking of cleaning up the staircase as well for the mines entering that cavern. Because if that's the particular cavern I want, I don't know what I'll put down there, but if it feels more like a cavern. It felt large back in Indev because Indev has tiny spaghetti caves, and those are not fun to navigate. So with that taken care of, yeah, I think we're gonna turn, instead of slabs, we're gonna have this be smooth stone, which means we're gonna put the smooth stone slabs up here. Yeah, we are gonna turn that cave into a proper cavern because I'm running out of places where I really want giant holes in the floor. So that's going to be the next location we work at. Before we head back down there, let me put away the zombie flesh, and then we're going to grab more food, grab a couple shulker boxes, and we'll go from there. You don't see me, slime. Indev caves are not fun to me. Because of how thin they are, you can't get very far without having to mine forward. Ore veins are great in Indev, but that doesn't make up for how not fun it is navigating those tiny caves. I almost think Classic was slightly better, but Classic was mostly creative, so there's not a lot of cave exploration I was doing in Classic. Where's my cooked bacon? There it is, I'll take that. Okay, what's the sort of items I don't need on me right now? That way I can fill up with more stone. Doop. Keep the torches. Will I need the bed? I'll probably keep it on me. And then I think that's it. I kind of want to grab more torches, but I don't know how many torches I'll need. If I make them now, then at least I'll have them for the future. And then we're also going to grab more coal to refill the furnaces. I don't know how much coal I'll need. We're just going to deconstruct all of that. Especially since half a stack of this is about to be turned into torches. And I don't. Alright, let's see. Let's see if there's enough to refill all the furnaces. I did not do the math, so I don't know. Oh, hold on, shulker boxes. That way I don't have to come back after filling up. Since chances are we're going to be finding ores in there. So if we're digging stone, we're going to grab... Here's what I think I'll do. I'm going to empty this shulker box. Toss all of that in there. And then now all 4 of these are empty. If I had a skylight, I could better keep track of the time of day so I could sleep. I intentionally choose not to use it because I'd rather keep the offhand free. It's too much of a hassle. I'd rather just deal with everything in my hotbar. It's useful for stuff like... When do I use it? Other than 1 free inventory slot, when do I use it? Sometimes I use it while building if I'm going to be expected to mine a lot. I don't carry totems. If I die, that's on me. But nah, that's 1 inventory slot of something I'd rather not spend Plus, we're gonna have a, I should say we're not going to. We are going to do our best. There we go. We're gonna do our best to have a zero death policy. As you can see, 2 Cheez-Its means I might have not succeeded at that twice. But that's okay. I know the totem is intended to prevent deaths, but I just don't want to carry it around. Too much hassle. I'd rather go mining and use that slot for like coal when I have too much of it. I've thought about doing a hardcore series at some point because I don't know if I would ever have the dedication for a hardcore world on my own. I've thought about having it as a series, but I have many other things I'd much rather do. I gotta finish my Android series. Oh, I need so much more coal than what I thought. Maybe if I go mining, I'll find coal down there. But yeah, I need to finish my Android series. I'll also need to do a Switch series, Slice of Pie, more InfDev Plus. Hardcore is just too generic for me. It's not a never sort of thing, because at some point it's likely to happen. It's just not a priority for the next few years. And I don't particularly know what sort of shape I'm going for, so we're just going to start carving out this side, I guess. See if I can lower the floor as well, except if I lower the floor, I'm going to want the upper area to feel more open. If I do hardcore, I've also considered doing hardcore in, like, beta 1.9 pre-release 5 or something. The only problem with pre-release 5, for as much as I like pre-release 5, you can't beat the game in regular survival because the Ender Dragon doesn't spawn. You need pre-release 6. But I don't like pre-release 6 because you can't open wooden doors with your hand, and it's miserable. I don't know how that happened, because I don't know whatever they did with doors during pre-release 6, but somebody done goofed. They had some sort of basic fix in RC1 and RC2. And then that was carried over into 1.0. Doors weren't properly fixed until 1.1. I don't know what they did, but somebody done goofed with the doors in pre-release 6, and that's always bothered me. So pre-release 6, I believe, is the first version you could beat the game legitimately. But I still like pre-release 5. The only thing with pre-release 5 is I could manually spawn in the Ender Dragon, but the Ender Dragon only has half a heart in pre-release 5, and so it's not really the same thing. It's not the same experience, I should say, as the completed fight in pre-release 6. I could do the whole thing in pre-release 5, and then at the very end, update to pre-release 6, defeat the dragon, and then call it a day. Call it complete, I should say. I wonder if I should have put the bed down over there as well. I kind of forgot I still had it on me. I guess every once in a while, if I could just remember to sleep, that'll reset the weather timer. Let me head back here. I'm probably not going to touch this area because I have the stairs here. Maybe what I could do, if I wanted, maybe what I'll do is have a non-ovular shape. So instead of having it like a 3D oval, I would expand all of this, and so it'd be more like lopsided. Because I want to carve out this way. We're also going to hop up top here. Hop on pop, so says the Dr. Seuss books. So we're going to head up here, carve out all of this. And then I'm well aware that a lot of these torches are now getting picked up. I'll find some place to put them. But yeah, I need to work top down, which sometimes is difficult. But if I work top down, it helps make sure that I can reach all the upper areas before I need to go down below. And this is why I'm thinking what we're gonna do. Slide this over. This will grant me plenty of coal for the furnaces, since I didn't realize just how much I was going to require. Alright, well, one thing at a time, one thing at a time. Not all too sure what to do with this back wall. Side wall? Whatever wall this is, the one next to the staircase, because I will say this staircase is rather cramped. This felt so much larger back in InDev, but as time passes, the scale of the world's gone up. Because I'm pretty sure this cave was found even before InfDev, which means back then the world was really small. And I'm thinking of pushing all this back. If I'm gonna keep working on space down there, might as well expand this. But yeah, I need the stone. I need the order of the stone. But oops. Might even grab some cobblestone and add more to the supports here, because now that that wall's gone, I feel like I should have something on this side. I don't know, one thing at a time. If I could get this to be a massive cavern, kind of like what I had on Minecraft Legacy, that was a great artificial cavern, and that turned out so very good. And we'll see if I can pull that off again. Maybe it won't feel as lopsided if I expand off in this direction, because if I have that there, and then say this whole side gets pushed outward some more, maybe it won't be as bad. Probably should have picked up all this stone. I don't want it despawning. Hey, back down into the tunnel. This is one of the InDev mines. I remember digging it out. Felt so long way back in the day, as it was from early InDev. That's not entirely true. I guess around the middle of InDev, considering that I started a little late, since I skipped all non-saving InDevs. I want to say InDev, the InDev project that seeked to expand the amount of available saving mods. That whole project that was mentioned however long ago. I want to say that's gotten more, that has more progress now. Something feels off, and I think it's that this whole ceiling just doesn't feel tall enough. The only thing is I don't know how high up I can go, but I'll definitely need more cobblestone to expand the areas here. Oopsies, not cobblestone like that. I wonder if I can go any higher, or if I'm gonna hit dirt. I guess we'll find out. Yeah, this cavern really felt small when I hopped back in today. It felt, or I should say it looked much smaller than what I remember it being. But I need the stone, and I'm kind of tired of just digging pits in such a linear fashion. So having something that looks more organic will be different. Oh wait, this has surface access. This will always tell me when it's day, because that kind of counts as my skylight. Now what I'm thinking of doing is popping torches on here. I just don't know if this is bright enough. 14. That's light level 9. This is 8. I think I'll be fine. Not over here though. I'll need cobblestone for that side. I'll pick up some of it now, I suppose. I'll probably put the pillar maybe here. Ooh. My leg! Says the fish from SpongeBob. Oops. Double oops. There we go. I didn't want to put it in the corner, because by putting the pillar in the corner, I will feel obligated to have a torch on each side. And that was not what I wanted. So, I'm going to remove that sort of mental pressure, even though this is my world and I can do whatever I want. it would just feel off if I only had a torch on one side of the pillar and not both. I'm also considering putting one on the back side since all of these have one-sided faces. Alright, so all that is dirt. It looks like we're gonna have a dirt ceiling up here. I don't know how deep the dirt is. If I really want it, I might be able to dig it up some. Yeah, if I could take all of this and sort of expand it. Oh, looks like we have dirt over there as well, so this is nothing new. Cool, cool. Yeah, if I could sort of like expand this outward, I'll feel better. Oop, can I halo reach? Little bit. I could also stand on there. Oop, hello. Thank you for saving my progress. I still don't know when that feature was added, and I don't know if it's an intentional feature or if it's a bug and they just kept it. But I will say, there used to be a time where it didn't work like that. It's most notable on trees for the logs way above you, and you gotta jump to mine. In fact, hold on, can I do the same thing here? So like I can't reach that level normally, but if I just do this, it works and it used to not be that way. It is convenient for getting the last little blocks, I will say. Alright, so all of this is about to be expanded as well. I'm trying to keep up with picking up the stone better. What I could do, if I just keep this as a giant wall. I don't particularly want it to be floating. So I'll probably turn this into a cobblestone wall or something. I don't know. Yeah, either way. Maybe I'll leave this like this. Just expand a little bit more. Sorry, cobblestone. Had to be done anyway, since these need to come back down. So now what I'll do is, I think I'll expand off in this direction, since it looks like I have a decent shape going. So if I could curve this out, I will then curve it down from there. So there we go. So now that I have the shape up here taken care of, I'm satisfied. Let's put a torch. I'm a little unsatisfied with this, so I'll probably head over there. Yeah, this side I'll keep mostly flat, and so it curves over here. Maybe I'll bring that a little bit more. So then it curves to there, all the way off in this direction. This feels a little not as good. There we go. So then now I'll take this and curve it all downward. What's probably going to end up happening is I'm going to have another pathway branching off of here going that direction. We'll see, we'll see. Now let's pick up all this stone and coal. And then keep going. Howdy potato, welcome back. What version of InfDev are you playing in? I should say, what version of InfDev is this referring to? It's going to be nice when I expand downward, but I got to take care of the ceiling first. Order of operations. Because gravity, we're working top down. Alrighty, so yeah, this side just feels way too flat, and what I'm probably going to end up doing is sticking that up real fast and then making this all curved. I'm terrible at curves in Minecraft, but that doesn't stop me from trying. I've played a little bit of InfDev Improved, assuming it's the one from the Betacraft launcher. I was not as satisfied with it as I was hoping I would be. There was missing stuff, and I can't remember what it was. Oh, tools still don't tools still don't drop the block on the last, or I should say pickaxes. Mining stone with a pickaxe does not drop the last block. Any stone-based item, which also has a possibility of including diamonds in the event that you use your last use to mine the diamond, which is a terrible idea. That was a big one I remember. And I want to say shift click also felt basic, but that could just be being used to modern day inventory stuff. I will say it feels like the performance on there does not feel good. I don't know if it's just me compared to regular InfDev 618, but even though it has MC Regen, it feels like chunk loading and unloading is slow. Alright, let's look around. This does indeed feel better. It feels like it should be pushed up more, but I just don't know how much dirt I have. What if I just, huzzah, sort of carve that out real fast. That feels rather cheap. I should expand it some more. Not too much, though. But yeah, seeing as I already have the dirt up there carved out, I should get this closer to the stone edges. I'm fine with it missing features. I think 618 is a great InfDev version because it's before notch, the biggest notch up of 624. So I'm not mad at it missing features because it is just InfDev 618 improved. But hopefully it will be even more improved in the future. I can't see that happening though, since I want to say the last update was maybe 22 or 23. I don't know if it's ever going to be worked on again. You like dungeons and stairs. Dungeons are better for future proofing, stairs are kind of just fun. I will say though, I miss the rideable minecarts because 618 has the original unbreakable minecarts used for storage. So 618 is a good version, but I will always like 629. But alas, 624 and later you have to deal with the stuttering zones, which are miserable. I'd probably be playing a lot more end of InfDev, like dungeons by that point, if I didn't have to deal with stuttering zones. There we go, that dirt feels a little better. Kinda. That side needs to be curved out some more. The little details. So that one's gotta go, and then like, boop, boop. Move that and that. There we go. I wonder, is this top layer grass? You ready to find out? No, it's not. Cool, that means I can have a little bit more dug out here. And you could also very quickly see why I'm working on the top, working top down, and that's because I'm starting to struggle with not being able to reach this stuff. I can understand the comparison where 618 was the last InfDev, whereas ignoring the inherent problems of 624, 624 through 630 is just pre-alpha, alpha -1. All right, there we go. There we go. Now I feel a little better about this. Feels properly open now. And now I have dirt I don't pick up. Now I have dirt I don't want. This platform feels so small. That's alright. Wonder if I should open this up some more. So much for being done. I am feeling like if I just say hello world to all of that, and then maybe cover that out a little bit more. How are we looking? There you go. Feels a little more balanced now. Except now that side's gonna have to move. The little details. I'd rather take care of the dirt now before I have this massive drop right next to it. I don't know how much farther down the floor is gonna move, but if I could reach at least low enough to reach the my tunnel here, I'll feel better. This is a 7. I don't remember why I chose that level. I just knew that I wanted it a couple blocks below the bottom of the world. Yeah, now all of this roof is too dense. See you later, stone. Because I don't need dirt, I need stone. Ow! I feel like beta 1.6.6 would indeed be the best version. I will say though, when it comes to beta, because of the clay problem, I feel like I appreciate beta 1.5 because of that. Sure, bug fixes are nice, but what's the most fun beta? You still have minecart boosting in beta 1.5. The bug at X or Z 999 was always annoying though, because I had a chest right at the coordinate on here. Man, that feels so long ago, but I remember talking about that for quite a while. I'm kind of neutral about the grass, because if you need more grass, you could always bone meal it. Yeah, glowstone being cheaper is an improvement. For as much as glowstone is great and all, I really don't find myself using it much. Even here in modern, where it's much easier to acquire. Okay, I think I might have reached an area I just can't get to. That dirt right there has to go, but I don't know if I can. Nope. Okay, that's a little better. I might just leave that like that. Feather falling, go. With feather falling 4, I don't know how far you have to fall to take damage. Okay, I'm more satisfied with this, because now it feels proper. There we go. It would be cool if all of that was turned to stone though, but I don't think it's worth replacing all the visible dirt with stone. So with all that taken care of, now this side I'm gonna leave. We'll see if I ever expand here, but that'll be in the end, because now we're gonna start going off in this direction. Cocoa beans are nice and all when you need them, but whoever makes cookies, you don't have enough cocoa beans to craft cookies all too often. Useful for brown dye though, that is a positive. Don't brown sheep spawn, or when do brown sheep start spawning naturally, assuming they do? Howdy and welcome back. Orange and black. Well, if we had orange and black, we wouldn't have cookies. Or if that's how you craft brown. Beta 1.4. I see. Wait, hold on. They were added to dungeons in beta 1.4. Does that mean it was unobtainable for a few versions? That's what you meant by being forgotten. There's no way to get brown up until then. I can understand your irritation. That is indeed big bowl of sadness right there. Alright, surprise torch. Just kidding, you're gonna have to move back a little bit more. Alright, I'm getting to the point where I can't really reach this. It needs to keep going down more. Alright, this side's probably good, unless if I really move it back. We were referring to cocoa beans originally, back when cocoa beans were first added in beta 1.2, and then they were added to dungeons in beta 1.4. I feel like, though, missing out on brown wool is not the end of the world, because if you really need a brown building block, dirt is plentiful. Just make sure it doesn't turn to grass. For people doing, you know, pixel art or whatever. They were removed from dungeons? I didn't realize that. Cocoa beans will always be the, well, they're sort of around item. You know what? I don't think I ever made a cocoa bean farm on here. I don't need the cocoa beans that badly. I'm pretty sure I still have plenty. When I was in 11W49A, I acquired a bunch of them along with every other dye. Alright, so with this more open, I want this to feel more circular, so what we'll have to do... Man, am I going to have to move all this over again? It's like, how do I want this to be? Because if I start pushing it maybe to around here, that's going to have to move a little bit more. But then all this has to move up again. And so then I'm going to start reaching to areas I can't really reach. And then this is sort of just flat, but if it leads into the cave right here, and so I really start pushing it around here instead, this would feel better. You've given up on the 5x5 challenge almost after all the time and energy you spent on it. I feel like, what would it have been for other than knowledge gained? Oh, my inventory's getting full. Okay, yeah, I gotta get rid of that. Bye-bye, little stone. There we go. Okay, that feels better. So I'll deal with that part being flat, which means all of that's gonna have to move a little bit. So let me head back over here. In fact, hold on, let me just put a couple more torches down here. I know your interest in Minecraft is decreased because you've gone total obsession mode over Zelda. One thing for another. Oh yeah, that's gonna have to move, but I'll keep the torch there for now. So this is all still kind of flat, but I'll live with it. So all of this is going to start moving over. Let's see if I could sort of slide my way into here. So with all of this being pushed outward, let's see if I could do a giant arc from there all the way leading up to that area. It's kind of what I'm hoping for, but I need to make sure it all blends together good enough. So let's slide all this down. I kind of want this to keep going back some more, but I don't know how far relative to the ceiling I have. So all of this can start moving though, and surprise, I guess I'm moving this whole area back. That's okay, I need the stone. That's the whole point of this. It's going to be fun to have a cavern that feels more like a cavern. But this whole project is because I need the stone. Give me the coal, please, and thank you. I wonder how much of this coal was already here versus how much of the coal generated in 327. Or because of 327, I should say. If the 5x5 challenge wasn't ever very fun, why do it then? Just because of in concept would be interesting. Alright, I think that might be safe to toss all the stone into the shulker boxes. Oop. Fun to play, not fun to make. Thankfully, if it ever is finished, it is finished. Then you never have to work on it again. Alright, move all that over. Bring the cobble. Oopsies. Alright, back to work. So if all of this is going to be moved outward, I think I'll mark that as the middle section. But then if nothing passes that, yeah, never mind. Is going to have to move. Sorry, Torch. Short-lived. Level up. Wow, I'm already back up to 30. I just realized that if I keep mining ores, my pickaxe durability will feel better. Yeah, I'm thinking, what if maybe instead of having it there, if I expanded the platform in this direction? Well, if that's the case, then I'm going to need some more stone. The version is only illegitimate based on whatever rule set you have applied to the challenge itself. That's why it's a challenge. It has custom rules beyond standard Minecraft gameplay. Alright, let's move all that in. There we go. Now I don't have to look at it filling up my hotbar. Clean inventory is a happy inventory. Alright, we'll start moving forward and we'll see if I have a better idea for how I want to shape this. Is there no way to have any villagers pop up? Do villagers still sell diamonds? I thought they did. Unless they only ever bought diamonds. And I'm just not remembering. They only buy them, not sell them. Sad times. Alright, let's bring all that in. I don't know where I'm going to position the next one. But this is slowly coming together over here. So if I stop it maybe there, then this side is just about done. So now I need to remember, don't go any higher than that. Oh, you know what? Here, I'm going to be smart about this. Now that I have access to this area, how about I start clearing all this out? I'll take the iron, thank you. Whoop. Alright, I'm getting there. This feels better, although I think having all the per threes is not very satisfying. Alright, that feels a little better. And so now I just need to do the same thing on this side with this layer. Whoop. So if I could just get these two sides to meet up in a nice, happy way, then I'll feel better. And then I'll get a better look at how this is all going to be sorted out. Maybe I'll just carve that, and then I think I might be completed with that layer. I'll just need to remember to try not to mine it anymore. Drop that torch, drop that torch, drop that one. Do you remember the probability for the diamond chicken? Because it's been so long since I've last played 2.0. Alright, how are we feeling? I'm feeling better about that. I think I'm gonna need a pillar right here, though. This will help me decide where to put the next one. Aren't most April Fool's versions that we've been having for the past while have been mods, though, considered as, essentially? I remember when they used to do... Wait, hold on. Was the only non-April Fool's version the 2014 Villager Takeover? I remember that, but I feel like there was something else that wasn't a dedicated version. But I can't remember. There was beta 1.4 being a non-dedicated version, but there was still a version released anyways. Alright, there we go. Yeah, this feels a little more natural other than the gold kind of not being in place. Alright, there we go. Nope. I heard something. What was I hearing? Is it raining? I don't think it should be. Oh, I see the Zella Moon. Let's go catch some Z's. Alright, how does it look from this side? Ah, it feels much more open now. I view this as an improvement. So yeah, if I could just start bringing all the sides down, I will be feeling better about this. So all this is gonna have to be cleared out. What I'll probably do, if I set all these to just vertical drops, then I'll come from the underside and go from there. Oh, hello, cave. Nice to see you. All the caves that are already here are blocks I don't have to mine. You're about to run through the whole process, so that will help me better identify it all. Alright, bring that over, and then I'll probably just have a pillar right here. Oh, let's pick up all this stone, though. Oop. I'm okay, says Captain Man. Of which I still haven't caught up. One of these days I will. I haven't required... Well, I've needed background noise, I've just been doing other stuff. I was watching a lot of the V12 Productions. They make a bunch of train videos, and so I was catching up on all the derailment videos, train wreck and derailments from 2021 to 2024. Each one was about 45 minutes long. That took up a lot of background noise. Alright, I think now I'm feeling better. We could start working our way down. As long as I keep this top side on the upper end, I'll be able to focus more on going down. Hello, cave. How's it going? Look at all this. All this I don't have to dig up. Yeah, I'm definitely getting flashbacks to the Minecraft Legacy world because I remember very similar things. Except I don't remember if I was digging cobblestone at that time or stone. I'm definitely needing the stone now. It's not nighttime already, right? Nope, we're good. Back to digging. So all of this will need to be brought downward. Hello, howdy, welcome to the stream. Assuming the cactus flower texture is separate from the cactus block itself, I'm probably not going to touch it. Do you know how long in the future until then? I don't know the future that far ahead. That was a 1.21 item, right? Or was that 1.20? I can't remember when the cactus flower was added. I say can't remember as if it's been a long time. It hasn't been a long time. It's just, I don't keep up with modern enough. Alright, that feels a little weird. This feels a little too straightforward. Some of these lines just run for too long. That's the problem. Well, that's an improvement, I guess. Oh, excuse me. Thank you. I say excuse me to the stone as if it moves. The stone didn't move, I just dug it up. Alright, there we go. I'm feeling a little better about this. Yeah, 1.14 is indeed new-ish, but yeah, I much prefer the older textures, and so most of them are using the original first iterations. Not all of them, though. I don't like the first iteration of gravel. I've thought about doing sand, though. Sand, the original sand texture was essentially slightly darker version of what we have today. I say today, but that's not true. The sand texture was changed 1.14. The classic sand is what I should say. Alright, I think I'll probably start moving this down a little bit more. Well, I don't know if I'm gonna be bringing this out. This might be right around where it starts curving downward. If I keep that there, that way I could just focus on the lower section being over here. Because everything I'm currently standing on, this big C that goes from there to here, all of this is gonna have to be brought down. And then I think I'm all set. I'm still trying to work on the edges, but now I do have to keep working on this. Alright, well, let's get digging. Hopefully people don't make the mushrooms too early, since it won't repopulate for a while. That's okay. I wonder if I should lower this until the layer here. So then once all of this is flat, then I'll get a better viewpoint for how it all needs to be. It's kind of like a skyblock map. It's another one of the limited item challenges. Best way to describe it. That is what he's describing. Alright, I want to put torches down, but as long as I'm in the area, then I won't have to worry about bad guys spawning. There we go. You know what? Maybe this is what I'll do. I'll bring all of it down to... What is this? This is 14. I still want to go down to the pathway, which is way down at 7. Maybe I will bring it down to 12. Yeah, let's keep digging. Digging on the lower end here. I don't know how much more I'll need to do on the outer side other than maybe some of this. Keep bringing this down to give more of an area. I just don't know how I'm going to do the sides yet. Maybe I should just open that up. Nah, I'm not thinking about that. Step 1, get the cavern to where it's supposed to be. And so the lowest point, which is no longer there and is now closer to here or so, this needs to be brought down to 12. 12 minimum, I should say. Or 12 maximum. Oop. I'm good. I wasn't expecting there to be a drop there. Oh, there's a lot more space. Oops, I didn't realize. I didn't realize just how far away from the edge I was. Oopsies. So yeah, if all of this is the edge, then I guess that means it's more like here's got to be around the middle. When I say 12. That's okay, I can always use more space. Yeah, the point of the map is to utilize specific versions to acquire certain items throughout Minecraft's history. Alright, so this is 12. Maybe I should just drop it all the way down here. Alright, well, one thing at a time. Didn't you try other seeds as well because you were hoping for something better? And then the other things that would have made sense did not give you good spawns. I think it's nighttime. Catch them Z's, reset the weather timer. Alright, so that is now nice and full. Yeah, all this digging, I spent almost an hour just mining. And we rarely passed one shulker box. Here's what I think I'll do. That's a full... Hiccup, that's a full stack. In fact, here, why don't I just do all this? Since I don't think I'll need this much space. Do you know if there's got to be any... Oh, wait, no, never mind. You already... If I had the seed, I could just explore myself, trying to figure out where the nearest one would be. Alrighty, so all of this can be brought down. Because this is not smoothed out at all. Oopsies. The chest in the end. And badoop. Is the end chest in a safe area? I feel like you told me you tried to keep it as far away as you could, but the chance of destruction is still possible. Yeah, this cave right here is a mess. Oi. By the way, let's keep working on bringing this down. Well, in fact, all of this needs to move as well. Very bottom of the world. Well, you did what you could. I don't know what the flight pattern for the dragon is, other than tries to be around 0, 0. I think the pattern also changes as time passes. Alright, so now we're going to move all this down some more. Yeah, I feel like this isn't going to be very circular. I'm feeling like it's going to be an oval going from this end to that way. That's alright. Whatever works, works. Caves should not require this much thinking. I'm not going to go for a perfectly carved out area. Okay, that might be done. This side still has more digging to do. Oh, hold up. Maybe not this, though. Yeah, this giant flat wall I'm not too satisfied with, but I'm not all too sure what else to put here. And I also want to cover that up. That was bothering me. we're good. Yeah, all this flat space right here, this has to go. Bye-bye. $12W06A for when you first get iron. What a long travel distance. Going from 327. Excuse me, caves, don't mind me. I wonder if this needs to move some more. Decisions. I know if I really wanted, because of the amount of TNT I have, I could have just gone boom, and that would definitely clear the area up. But I need the stone, I don't need cobblestone. So I need to keep reminding myself that that's the reason why I'm digging this all out. Doo-ba-doop. The scale of this experiment certainly is indeed quite large. Rather impressive, I say, with all the fine details and all the things that have to be done. Alright, we're almost there. Maybe I will just go all the way to 7. So if I consider this to the midsection, let's just open all this up real fast, since I have to be down here anyways. Unrelated to the cocoa beans, but I was just thinking about it. Is there any way to prevent the, hold on, what's it called? Ocean monuments, there we go. Is there any way to prevent the ocean monuments from spawning in old junks? Or is the only way to, well, as long as players are there long enough. You do want that to happen? Okay, so then you already know where one's gonna be. Only way to get prismarine and sponge. Because if you know where the closest one's gonna be, then you know where people are gonna have to not be to make sure that it generates. I might have jumped ahead in your whole version scheming, but I was just thinking about it. I know you said that you needed or you were planning on having a very large amount of blank space. So I don't know if you've already covered everything that will generate within. Yeah, I feel like this is not balanced enough. This needs to be a steeper slope. Excuse me, coal. What are we at? Hour and 10 almost. Oi. I guess this is still gonna need to be a inverted slope if the midsection is gonna be around here. So I guess this whole thing does need to keep coming down. What'll be wrong with MC Region to Anvil when it comes to empty space? Or is it just the slowness? Why would it be... Oh, I see. The biomes would all be pre 1.2. Is that what you're referring to? Oop. Let's just skip 1.1. Alrighty. I feel like within the scope of the project, there will always be a if or problem in there. Alright, so this has to keep moving down, and I have pillars to expend. What part of it makes it absolutely necessary? Is it just the acquisition of certain items? Alright, feel free to continue. The last version you said was 12W18A. Carrots, potatoes, and villagers. Hooray! Hooray 1.4 and the good stuff. Maybe a... No, never mind. I was gonna say, maybe if I were to start bringing it back here, but I'm seeing... No, if this is still the midsection, this does indeed need to keep going. Man, that bridge used to not be as... or floating nearly as much. But now it is. Oop. In fact, while I'm down here, let's bring all this down. And I think I might be good on cobblestone. I'm realizing my Silk Touch pickaxe is getting low on durability, but that's not too big of a problem currently. Alright, I think I might be... Yeah, so with that taken care of, now we move this over. Let's see, what are we at? Hour and 15. Oi. Oh, how the time has zoomed. And an inventory full of torches does indeed sound like an insane amount to me. The only time I would ever carry an inventory full of torches is for I'm going out into the night, and I will be out all night long lighting up the world. Area that will not be loaded 1.6. Sounds like set up for something big. This cobblestone is kind of not actually from Minecraft. It's the original Ruby Dunk cobblestone that Notch was going to use, but then Ruby Dunk never happened, and so he used the texture for the first couple of versions of what became Minecraft. So if you look at the launcher, the earliest pre-classics, or the RD versions, wait for the torches to burn out. Oh, I see where this is going. You were able to spawn Steves in the second one. But yeah, where was I going with that? Yeah, the cobblestone textures from right before the version you were playing. Four stacks should be plenty for the step. Leave them in the upright position on the platforms. This is very specific. I know it has to be specific data values and all that. I just find comedy in it. Alright, so this side's probably about good. Maybe you couldn't spawn them. The Steves were there, but you just couldn't spawn them. Maybe that is what I'm thinking. That might be what I was thinking, and that you were not able to spawn them at that time. You've been all over campus today. Were you getting your steps in? I feel like capturing all 100 Steves is not terrible if you first start with a wall all the way around. If you have a wall all the way around, at least you won't have to worry about them blocking off. And then trying to get them all individually would be a slow process, though. So white stained clay. Interesting. Alright, let's see what's next. I think next is bringing this down some more. Still have a lot of space on this side. Oh, every time one was on the wall, it ran off. That means build the walls taller, since what are the chances of them spawning on the very farthest block all the way around? Howdy Minty, welcome back. Your favorite YouTuber is indeed playing more Minecraft. Hey, the horse is only useless if you don't have, or I should say, the horse is useless if you don't have a very spread out base. I wonder why. Can I? Boop. Let me look at something real fast over here. Oh yeah, I'm all good. Alright, back to digging. Assuming things are set up for 2.0. Hopefully, 2.0 is a very big part of this. Feel like, though, if you're not paying attention, it's easy to miss everything. Alright, so what I'm looking at... This is kind of like a circle. Good job, me. Because now, if that's the lowest point, I just have to interpolate from there up to around here on all sides. The square thingy at the bottom left, that's a Cheez-It. Do you know what a Cheez-It is? It's a little cracker, little salty cracker that's artificially flavored like cheese. Whether or not it tastes like cheese is up for debate, but either way, it's called a Cheez-It. But yeah, that's the Cheez-It counter for every time I cheesed it. Well, I should say every time I cheesed it per part, because every series refreshes, because I couldn't keep track of the first time, so I figured, well, I'll just reset it after every series. So the ones in the chest will be acacia leaves for data value 0, and then the upright ones will be dark oak for data value 1. Interesting. Yeah, it does make sense because I just think about how difficult it can be getting dark oak saplings from regular dark oak trees anyway. This makes sense. It feels like dark oak trees should give you... They don't need to drop more saplings, they just need to have more leaves. Or maybe less logs. Oh well. I think it's 10, not important, you just know it works. Okay, if it's not 1 and it works, then yeah, that's the important part. I feel like if you use mods to acquire future blocks, you're gonna start spiraling into trying to figure out every possible data value you can acquire. And like, what's stopping you from just using the config file to set the data value or set the block IDs you want anyway? Many old mods, you had to manually set the block IDs because, well, if it shares the same block IDs as another mod, you gotta change something. And so, of course, whenever you load the world, you have to make sure that you're using the proper block IDs for the proper blocks and all that. Anyways, it gets complicated because I remember playing with a lot of mods during that time, 2013 or so, 2013 to 14, back when ID conflicts were a massive problem for mods. And then all of that is a thing of the past now because using the namespace IDs, it's supposed to be impossible to have ID conflicts that way. Because as long as every mod just has a unique prefix, then there won't be any problem. If you left your water cup in another building, hopefully the cup is not important. Unless you want to keep walking around. Said you've been all over campus. Why not be all over campus some more? Dark oak doors, so it's the best version. See, remember what I was saying? I think it was yesterday. I was saying yesterday about how I'm surprised 1.8 wasn't your favorite version for adding customized worlds. Oops. Oh, I'm okay. Watch out for random holes in the floor, kids. Watch your step. Mind the gap, they say on the subway. Alright, we're getting there. It feels a little unnatural, though, because you have the steep angle here, and then it's a little shallow, all the way up to the very edge, and then it's steep again. I feel like I should push all of this outward some more. No stone variants, not that anyone will miss them. I like andesite. I can't say much about granite and diorite, but personally, I do like andesite. It's just a darker stone. But yeah, no quartz is a little bit of sadness. Because no quartz means you're missing out on not only the quartz stuff, you're missing out on the redstone items that require quartz. And the variants. And I can't remember what else it's used for. If there was another mob that dropped quartz, that could be beneficial. You can get quartz much later. Oh, I see. Okay, so you're referring to no quartz currently. Alrighty. Alright, we're almost here. I say that, but we're only almost here for about 1/4 of this. Because at least now I know how far down I want to go. I'm thinking about filling in these pathways, though. With all the stone I have, I can at least fix up the pathway to the spot it's supposed to be. All these holes in the floor are from where I went mining. I remember mining so many times down these tunnels. And now that's all in the past. But that's okay because it serves another purpose now. Let me dig up all this coal though, because I need to refill the furnaces after this. Probably should have been using cobblestone, but that's okay, stone looks nicer. Alright, so... yeah, this feels fine up until about here, because all of this does indeed need to be brought down. So if I could have a much deeper angle on this side, I think I'll be feeling a little better about the overall shape. And stone will generate under the exit portal. I did not realize that. Nom, 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 nom. Alright, so... yeah, this is such a shallow angle over here, which is nice for traversing, but it doesn't feel enough of what I need. I should say particularly, I need stone, but that's not the point. One point ten doesn't have much overall. It would make sense that it does not contribute very much to the challenge. You're welcome. I'm glad you're able to take advantage of the conversion guides. It gets complicated, but at least all the important information has been put out there. I had the written guides for a while, and then people were wanting video tutorials, and so I've converted those over. One of these days, there's still a couple more guides I need to do, especially the 1.13 one, but it really does come down to Chunker is just the last straw for that. Alright, so now this feels better, except I think this side needs to be brought inward. For as terrible as I am with curves and organic shapes, I still just keep working on this. We're gonna keep going. That's okay. This is Minecraft. No one can tell you what you can or cannot do. I wonder how many times I've quoted the 1.0 trailer by now. I feel like I've done it a lot. Is 1.17 when shulker reproduction is added? That's one of those features I think to myself, I wonder why they did that other than shulker farms. Particularly because since I've been walking around the end, I've realized just how many end cities it takes to get a fair amount of shulker boxes. Part of that, I think, is fortune doesn't affect the drop rates. I don't know what the drop rate is, but I want to say it's 50% across the board. That's at least what it feels like. Not fortune, looting. Fortune is for pickaxes. Alright, that ender chest, not ender chest, that shulker box is now full. Hooray, we're onto the third one. We're making good progress. I can move that coal. Wow, this feels much more like a cavern compared to when I started. It feels twice as deep as earlier. I'm quite satisfied with this. Alright, so, yeah, I think this side could probably use a little more shaving over here, but I don't know how good I'll get because I think there's another tunnel. Yeah, I already have the other tunnel right there, which means I can really only carve about that, and then I'm gonna have to carve this up. And then hopefully that'll keep the tunnel covered. Do not open until Christmas. That's kind of funny, but it makes sense. Is that going to be the only chest, or are there going to be other chests as well? Yeah, there we go. Okay, as long as I don't see that next tunnel, then the shape will be easier to work with. And it'll also enforce a steeper angle by 45 degrees. Oh, hold up. Clean inventory is a happy inventory. There we go. Oh, that feels much better. The angle being much steeper is what I wanted. There we go. So that side I'm more confident with. We're going to do the same thing over here because this is, again, rather shallow relative to what I'm wanting to do. Oops, I still have plenty of cobble. In fact, I could probably move that over. So I'll need to work on all of this to maybe around here or so. In fact, here, I think I will focus on that side first. Whoop, there's another tunnel. See, these are all over the place. I think there's 4 of them. No, there can't be 4. I think there's 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can't remember. Oh, nope, hold up, here's 6. Anyways, not important. In 1.16, where do you get gravel? Is that piglin trading? Alright, let me move all that down real fast, and then I can focus on this side. Don't worry, 1.13, I've now conquered, and it really is just use chunker as long as the world is small enough. Otherwise, it's better to use it on only selected chunks. Alright, I think we're getting there. No, this still needs to keep going back a little more. I'm unsatisfied with the look. It's just kind of hard to tell the top point versus bottom. I should put more torches down because I keep picking them up. Oi. They're adding to the other stacks. I'm trying not. 1.14, you can fish the jungle biome for bamboo. And as time passes, bamboo became more useful. I understand now the reason for the jungle biome. I remember you talking about the fishing back when I was over there recently. The pre-1.7 jungles just means 1.2 plus jungles. Alright, Yeah, there we go. That angle I'm much more satisfied with. So with that one taken care of, now I'll need to do the same thing over on this side. Well, yeah, I can't because if I don't want to grow the trees, then... But yeah. Flowers are also nice for being able to just bone meal ground. Should say grass. Bone meal grass to get them. The grass blocks. Hooray, flowers. Oops. Alright, I think we're doing... Yeah, so this right here. Alright, excuse me, Cole. Gonna have to dig up a bunch of you real fast, don't mind me. If I keep that. Plop this up. Make it a steeper angle. Warped Nylium, the only way to get Netherrack. Interesting. Why was it only Warped Nylium? I'm not familiar enough with the snapshots. Quartz gravel nether brick from piglins. Okay, so I was right about that. And then I think we are coming upon the end here for this side, and then I gotta move on to the next one. There we go. Oop, hold up. This looks a little off. This should be brought up some more. I think there's another tunnel after this, right? Oh, no, there's not. Oh, that's cool. Hold on, let me fill that back in. So then that means I don't have to worry about having another tunnel be exposed right here like I do on the other side. That's nice. Wow, you actually let people explore 1.18. Whoop. Oh, hold up, I didn't finish this. You know, I'm realizing these pillars are kind of close together. Those ones are close together, and then you got this one here. I might get rid of that one in the middle, but if I get rid of that one, I wonder what the lighting will be. Because I've got the torches way over here. Maybe what I'll do is I'll move it over. Where's the middle? Okay, so that's 13. Oh wait, is this really the middle right here? This block? It's technically there, if I want to be more precise, based on current setup. There we go. This will help it look a little more balanced out. What I'll probably do is move that pillar over, move that one to be between those two. Once you reach 1.18, is there no way to get anything new afterward? Or are you gonna start briefly covering that? I know 1.18 itself doesn't have anything new to acquire directly. You can get mud and frogs. Yeah, I might even move this one over. No, I'll keep it there. Alright, so the middle is... 11, which means right here has to move one block over. Do you know, have you tested the seed yet in 1.18 to know what sort of underground biomes there are? Because I wonder if it's logically possible, if you know where Deep Dark is, if you just flood the entire bottom layer of the world with stone. Let's go to bed. Well, not the whole world, but where you want the biome to be. Unless it requires bedrock and it's not just stone, that would work. I feel like we talked about this and I can't seem to remember what the resolution was. You can't get bedrock. Okay. Yeah, I don't think there would be a way to get bedrock. Alright, there we go. I'm feeling better about this. This angle, I should say the angle of this side is already pretty good, but I think I might need to shave it off just a little bit. What are we at? 41? Hour and 41 already? I'm getting hungry. It's gonna be time for lunch soon. I have to finish the stream first, of course. But afterward, it's gonna be lunchtime. I'm probably gonna make bean and rice burritos. Bean, rice, cheese. I think we're all set. The only way to get netherite is ancient debris across the board. That's how it was, how it always was. Whoop, we're good. Ancient debris or bastion loot. Oh yeah. Alright, is this good? Still feels a little steep, but there's a cave right here. So if I push it back a couple more blocks, it's just gonna be open because of the cave right there. So I'll probably just settle with this being one of the more steeper sides. I could do stuff up here though, I think. Try to bring the bottom and the top to intersect better. Oop, we're good. I'll take that, thank you. Alright, I think we're doing better. I can't remember if you ever... Oh no, never mind. You did. Alright, I think now I'm all nice and satisfied with this cavern. And we picked up a fair amount of stone. So what I think we'll be doing is, with this layer being totally flat, we're just going to carve out a little bit more. Just a little bit farther down. And so from here, we'll probably be able to go one more after this. Push that inward, that way I can bring this as well. So bring that over. Drop the torches again. So now this will be the last layer. What is this, 5? Yeah, this is a big improvement. I'm much more satisfied with how this turned out. You know what, here, one more. Boop. Now if I'm gonna do it like that, I might as well do it like that. But if I'm gonna do it like that, then that means... Alright, close enough. There we go. No more. No, because this doesn't feel properly balanced. Because all of this is still rather flat, and that's what I'm trying to avoid. This might be a little unnecessary, though. I don't remember if there was controversy with the resin. I don't remember. There could have been. There could have been something going on with it, but I don't remember. Part of it is it's so recent that I just haven't been looking at it, keeping up with this sort of stuff. Yeah, to think that the Pale Garden was already December? I think December was when it came out, and then we just got the spring version. Can't remember what it was labeled. That one came out a few weeks ago, I think. Well, anyways, Trader sells it. So yeah, that is indeed a way to get it. I did not know the Trader sold it until you told me, though. That's okay. I'm here to learn. Well, I'm making videos, but I am here to learn. Well, if it only goes all the way up until 1.18, where 1.18 is the you get new chunks, and that's it, sort of thing. So then, that will help you keep focusing on the parts you want to have more emphasis on, because otherwise, you're just gonna keep working more and more and more as new updates come out. And so if 1.18 is the definite, you get new chunks, end of the challenge sort of thing, that will help you focus only on everything before then. So that way you don't have to think about whatever other stuff happens in the updates after that. And I think now I'm all set. I think now I'm all satisfied. This feels much more like a cavern, I say. Although, I think this platform might end up being a little too high. Part of me wants to move it down, but part of me also kind of doesn't, because I do like looking way down there. Whee! Point where it's no longer expected to work properly. I guess that makes sense. Just plop in a disclaimer. May not function beyond this point. Gonna move that over. Gonna move that over. Move that over some more so I can put that there. There we go. Y'all know me in odd numbers. I don't remember if you've made mention of the data pack already. Well, other than talking about it before, but in this entire explaining it today, what sort of things are you adding or changing there? All right, I think I'm all set. Yeah, I do feel like I need some sort of pathway down here, though. Maybe not. I could just leave it where it is. Unless if I wanted to do another layer that goes straight across. But no, I think that might make it feel a little too cramped. Is it nighttime? No. Oh, it's a bright sunny day. I think I can stop looking at this now and be satisfied with all the stone that has been acquired. Right around 2.5 shulker boxes worth. I'd say that's a big accomplishment. Let me take all that. Not where I want to be, but at least all this stone is going to let me finish the project. Wow, how long have I been down there? What day are we on? 5,898. We're going to hit 5,999 by the end of today. Since, yeah, we're about to wake up and it's going to be 5,999. No, sorry, 5,899. You know, here's what we're gonna do. I'll put this stuff away and then we'll sleep. Oh, hold on. Wait, I have all this coal. Let me be smart. We need to refill the furnaces since I spent a lot of coal earlier. Oops. I say earlier, but that was yesterday. I started all the cooking. Not important. Okay, so let me just make sure that all of these are filled up and I didn't forget any of them. Pretty sure they should be, though. Good, I made sure to empty that out. Oops. Double oops. Wonder why some of these are 56 and others are 54. What happened? Maybe they weren't full completely. Anyways, I did it. Hooray. That took a lot of coal, but that's okay. What other dyes do not get from stuff like plants or drops? Because I was already talking before about beetroot for red. But you can also get those from rose bushes, because the whole rose bush, once you get one, you could just bone meal it and it'll make more rose bushes. Alright, let me bring all that. Toss that, toss the cobble. I totally forgot I had stuff down there. Let me move this up, it'll make me feel better. There we go. Doo-doo-ba-doop. Blue and yellow. How frequently are you able to get yellow dye? To my knowledge, yellow dye comes from yellow flowers. Okay, so that's already empty. There we go, put away the egg, the egg. That's my bread chest, not the slime balls. Wow, that's already starting to fill up as already. Where did all these slime balls come from? And I forgot about the coal. Oop. And there we go. I think now we are safe to sleep. This is not full, so let me just grab all this, fill her up. So I'll take these three, and that box is still empty. And hadoink. Time to catch some Z's, and we'll start again tomorrow. Now it's tomorrow. So, with all this stone, I'm gonna have to go back to the Enderman farm, but I'll do that later. With all this stone, we'll get back to work on finishing the walls. I don't remember how much stone I required, but I should be all set. 1.16 not to load correctly. Is it because deep slate isn't an item yet? How does it handle invalid items that are referenced in data packs? The landscape looks so normal over here. But then you cross the water and go up the hill. And then look, infrastructure, giant stone building. It kind of looks like a giant factory ground from the distance, where you've got all the main factories, and then those are the big smoke funnels. But that's not what I'm going for. Hello there, I've returned. And I think we're gonna start moving all of our stuff into here. Oopsies. I totally forgot you can put shulker boxes sideways. Alright, so this one, I'll take all that, and then I think this will be enough to go all the way around. As of right now, I don't think there is anything else until you do proper testing. Like, what feels like? You could do all the numbers, lay it out, spreadsheets, organize all sorts of ways. But then, once the time comes to sit down and play it, how does it feel? Bed is in a camp? I guess. My sleeping bag off in that distance is over by a nice cozy campfire. This one is over here by a giant Zelenako. Let's see, what do we have? OBS says another 2 minutes. I realized I didn't have any cobblestone to expand the staircase, so I'm really hoping that this is enough stone to finish the layer. Because I can't get back up here. As of right now, there are no other recipes. I would say apple pie, but you can't have an apple pie item. Is there a particular reason you would want smooth stone earlier in 1.13 instead of just waiting for 1.14? I feel like the very next update does not serve enough of a purpose. I am indeed on day 5,899. We're gonna start tomorrow's stream. Well, once the sun goes down, we're gonna start tomorrow's stream on day 5,900. Because you can? That's a poor excuse. I think to myself, doesn't that just add additional complications? Or I should say, doesn't that unnecessarily increase the file size of the data pack and also add complexity that serves no real purpose in the long run? As a game developer, I think micro-optimization. That's not just a game developer thing. I've been saying that since walking to the Nether Farlands. Okay, use other than the 5x5 challenge in 1.13. That makes more sense. Don't worry, I'm not familiar much with data packs either. There's one I was trying to do that I tried working on, doing stuff with minecarts. It did not turn out very well. I was trying to make an infinitely powered minecart, and then I couldn't get it to stop. Plus, the invisible pig kept making noises. Unless I did enable no AI on there and the pig wasn't making noises at that point. Yeah, don't worry, I don't know how to use data packs much either. I've invested my time in other stuff. like converting old worlds. We've also hit the 2-hour mark, but we're going to finish this row because I don't want it being unfinished. So yeah, we'll be wrapping it up once I make it to the end of the line here. Okay, good. I should have plenty of stone to finish up. And so tomorrow, we're going to drop down another layer of cobblestone on top of this, I believe. And then we'll go from there. Well, I should say 2 layers, I think. Yeah, we need to make it up to where those pillars are. So we're going to be laying down 2 more layers of cobblestone. And then we'll be putting more stone on top and hope I don't run out. But that's going to be a problem for future me. Alright, we're almost there. No, we're not. We're only about 2/3 of the way across. So much stone. To think that I spent about an hour and 45 minutes digging up stone, and then I'm going to place all this stone, and I'm going to be right back to square one, essentially. Oi. Talking about something will always be easier than properly sitting down to figure stuff out. But now that we made it to the end, if y'all have any final thoughts, start saying them now. We'll be back again tomorrow, Friday, the last stream of the week, where we hope that we don't run out of stone after all the cobblestone that'll be placed down, trimming this to add a second cobblestone strip going around. And then I could start working on decorations. Yep, that's indeed all it for today. Thank you all for watching. Bye.